look at the skirmish that's underway with these 5 members of Congress who ask a very practical question. What is the impact of the Muslim Brotherhood in the U.S. government?
Do you share that concern?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so Newt Gingrich has once again decided to align himself with the bat crap crazy wing of the Republican Party and its out-of-control leader, Michelle BACHMANN. So far, it's Newt, Michelle, and 4 Republican House members, Trent Franks, Louis Gohmert, Thomas Rooney, and Lynn Westmoreland, against the Speaker of the House of Representatives, John Boehner, the House Intelligence Committee Chairman, Mike Rogers, and Senators John McCain, Lindsey Graham, Marco Rubio, and a number of other Republican lawmakers. Here's Senator McCain speaking for the establishment Republicans.
To say that the accusations made in both documents are not substantiated by the evidence they offer is to be overly polite and diplomatic about it. It is far better and more accurate to talk straight. These allegations about Huma Ahmadine and the report from which they are drawn are nothing less than an unwarranted and unfounded attack on an honorable citizen, a dedicated American, and a loyal public servant.
Joining me now, Karen Finney, former DNC Communications Director and MSNBC political analyst, and Sam Stein, political editor and White House correspondent for the Huffington Post. Karen, this is the time when the Republican Party comes together, where they hold hands and sound united and sing the same tunes on the way to their convention, except, of course, for former presidential candidate who actually thought she was going to be the nominee of that convention, Michelle BACHMANN, and then crazy former candidate Newt Gingrich sides with the crazies, and things are looking messy for that convention.
Yes, indeed they are. And I have to tell you, Lawrence, it's good to see some of these Republicans come out and be very forceful against what Michelle BACHMANN has had to say. But I am going to enjoy watching other Republicans have to distance themselves from those remarks or associate themselves with those remarks. Because, I mean, as you said, I mean, it is really out of line what she said, and particularly to make that kind of comment about someone who is in a position where she can't really fight back for herself. Not to mention, as I mentioned in a column that I wrote this week, it actually has now spread to, I mean, this is part of the reason that the Secretary of State's motorcade was pelted with shoes and tomatoes. So it's not just playing nasty otherness, you know, xenophobic politics here in the United States, but there's now also an implication abroad, and it's a danger to the United States.
Well, crazy Louis Gohmert was on a radio show today and decided it was time to tell John McCain what he really thinks of him. So let's listen to that.
Well, it's obvious that John McCain didn't even read the letter because of what he said in accusing Michelle and us of making these horrible allegations. Well, no, there were 5 letters, and there were many things that are stated that are facts in each letter. And I wish that some of these numbnuts would go out there and read the letter before they make these horrible allegations about the horrible accusations we're making.
Sam Stein, whose side is Mitt Romney going to pick? Numbnuts' side or those Louis Gohmert's side?
I think Romney will side with numbnuts on this one. You know, clearly this is one of these types of distractions that the Mitt Romney campaign would love nothing more than to just go away. The problem is that there is a faction within the Republican Party, and including some respected names within Republican circles. I mean, Newt Gingrich, I know he's a little bit dated, but he still was a possible presidential candidate. I mean, these people are latching on to the theory. I read John Bolton, an informal advisor to the Romney campaign, gave it a little bit of credence today. So it's not like these are just strictly, you know, fringe conservatives latching on here. We're having some legitimate names. And I think if you're Mitt Romney, it's like you have to go out and tell these people, please, let this recede into the sunset. Let's not talk about this. This is bizarre. It's McCarthyism, and it doesn't help my campaign at all.
Karen Finney, who among the Republican candidates for president who lost to Mitt Romney can be allowed near a microphone at the Republican convention?
Not a single one, because, as we know, Donald Trump is in the bat crap crazy camp because he's, Mr. Birther, which is the same kind of otherness, silliness that we see here. I can't think of anyone that's not going to have something crazy to say, or something that, as Sam points out, is going to be a real distraction from what Mitt Romney wants to say. But on a serious note on some of these comments, I mean, remember that Newt Gingrich also was talking about the fear of the spread of Sharia law, Islamic fundamentalism and Sharia law in this country. And we've seen a number of states actually, thanks to Frank Gaffney's madness, introduce laws banning Sharia laws in their state. So there is a part of the Republican Party and conservative who are akin to believe some of these things. So, we all think it's crazy, but I mean, there is a real dog whistle element to this that I think we should not let these guys off the hook on, because it's just completely inappropriate.
I think of the former candidates, Tim Pawlenty can still stand up there without embarrassing them. And if they keep Rick Perry on the prompter, come on, that can work. Karen Finney and Sam Stein, thank you both very much for joining me tonight.
Thanks, Lawrence.
Thanks.
Coming up in a Last Word exclusive, the man who's running against one of the craziest members of Congress in history. Can he beat Michelle BACHMANN? And the head of the NRA supports a mass murderer's freedom to shoot over your right to life. That's in The Rewrite.